Okay, so this journey begins. I have set a couple of ground rules that I think I've already gone over. But the idea is whenever I need to go like out and about, I'm gonna see if I can just use my watch. So I'm actually gonna go and bike and drop off a package right now that I need to return. I need to go work out and then I'll come back. And I'm gonna only use my watch. I did not charge it this morning after tracking my sleep, and I have 60% of battery, and I have a playlist downloaded that just automatically downloads. So we'll see, because I need to use it for a couple of things for like hours. So I feel like this is gonna be a big battery drain. Okay, so I had to go apply all my sunscreen, came back out, realized I have to take a package to UPS, and I got the label that I need them to print in my email. So I was like, oh, I'll just whip it up on my watch. Notice two things. Your watch email doesn't actually update and pull new emails from the account. It just pulls new emails from your phone. So I actually had to go over to my phone, refresh it, got the email with the print with the label, got the email with the shipping label, and then realized, oh, I cannot forward an email from the watch. You can only reply to the sender. So I couldn't send it to the store. So unfortunately for this very first day, for this very first test, I'm already having to bring my phone with me, but I won't use it for anything else other than that. I just need to drop this package off. Okay, hello, I'm back. First trip, a little bit of a success. I had no problem playing Spotify. I had no problem tracking my workout. All three of my workouts, my bike there, my bike back, my workout in the middle. Obviously, when I went to UPS, I had to use my phone because I had to give them a shipping label to print, but like that's kind of extracurricular because this is obviously, the idea is you can just make your life a little bit less techy and a little bit less connected. So I get that this is the outlier. One thing I am using is actually called WristTube. It is a YouTube app specifically. Okay, don't know why my camera just fell. I think it tried to move too much. I am using WristTube. It is the YouTube app, the unofficial YouTube app for the watch. And it took a minute to get set up and make sure everything's set up beforehand, but it's been working really well. It'll play the video on your wrist, which is kind of crazy. And if you switch away to another app, it'll keep playing the audio. And from what I can tell, it's not still loading the video file, which obviously should save you data and battery. So fingers crossed. I'm going to keep using it because I listen to YouTube videos when I work out and do stuff all the time, and I don't necessarily always watch them. So I was actually very happy to see that there was a solution for this. Okay, so first night, only using my watch. Honestly, not bad. Obviously, everything I'm going to say comes with the caveat of like, I'm really pushing myself to the limit of when I only use a watch when I go out. So last night I actually had a dinner with my family. We went out, we bowled, we went to a bar. It was a very fun night. We were celebrating a birthday. And for the most part, I didn't really miss having a phone. There was a few times I couldn't like reference something or look something up, but it didn't really take away from the experience. Where it did become a slight issue is when we were at the actual table, there was multiple specials that were hidden behind a QR code for that day at the restaurant. And I couldn't scan the QR code. We also did karaoke later, which I didn't want to do, and then it ended up being kind of fun. And at karaoke, couldn't queue songs. I had to borrow my sister's phone because I couldn't scan into the queue system. So there was a couple moments there where you actually like need a phone as a tool, but overall, didn't lose power, never had to charge before dinner. I had service just like everybody else. I was trying to connect with everybody. I was able to text them. I wasn't able to connect to my partner's car. We take two different cars at different times. And so far, I've never been able to get the Apple Watch to actually connect to a car stereo, which is once again one of those power user features, but I like listening to music like all the time. And so it is a little bit of a detractor that I'm not able to do that because that would actually be kind of cool. But other than that, it wasn't bad. Okay, hello. I am literally editing a YouTube video and I realized that I hadn't updated this one about my day 2 experience, which largely was uneventful. I kind of unfortunately was like at home all day working. So when I'm at home, I'm still using my phone if I need to, but I'm mainly using my computer. I'm really just trying to see where the limitations are of like only using a watch when you go out and about. So yesterday was pretty uneventful. I did have to bring my phone with me once I ran errands that evening because once again, I had to show a code that was only on my phone. But other than that, I didn't use it. And I actually went roller skating. It's a thing I do. And I used my watch to play music and it worked. Did it work fine? Yeah, it worked totally fine. When you have your phone near your watch, your everything that your watch does is going to just want to automatically default to your phone. So I actually ended up turning off my phone so that way I could like really use the watch, but that was totally fine. And then today's day 3, and I've actually been using it all day. I had to run a couple of errands. I did a workout. While I was in the car, I was getting navigation. Like I was using maps on my watch, which is actually kind of a nice experience because it's so easy to see. And I did a phone call on my watch, worked totally fine. The other person on the line could not tell I was on my watch. And then I just went grocery shopping and I was playing music, streaming music, like everything that you do that you would expect to work well actually does work well. I haven't had any issues there. It really is just a matter of like, do you need an app on your phone to do something or not? Which actually right now I'm at 11% battery because I charged last night before I went to bed, and then I wore it to track my sleep, and then I wore it all day today and I streamed stuff. And I tracked a workout and all of that good stuff. So I actually do need to charge it for the rest of today and for tonight. And then I probably won't have to charge it until the same time tomorrow. And I'll update you at day 4. Okay, we are in the middle of day 5, but I need to update you on day 4 because day 4 was very interesting. I had work, and then I had to run a couple of errands, and then I had more work, and then I had a dinner. And so when I went and ran errands in like the mid-afternoon, totally fine. I actually was going to a new place. I had to drop off. I had to get something serviced. So I had to drop it off at the service center. And I used my watch and I used the map view on my watch to like get directions. Worked totally great. Honestly, really like maps on the watch. But then I forgot I had an important call that I had to join for like 15 minutes. And so I joined the call on my watch, used my AirPods so that way, you know, I sounded great. And it went totally fine. Could hear everything on the call, no problem. What I did not think about is the fact that I was navigating to the service center while I was on this call. And when you're on a call on an Apple Watch, you cannot do anything else. You have to end the call to get notifications, see a map, open another app. And I understand why that's a limitation because, you know, the watch is limited. But in that moment, I did have to pull over across the street in a parking lot because I wasn't sure exactly where it was, finish the call, and then look at maps and see where I was going. So just a little bit of like a intricacy there. Where day 4 got very interesting was when I went to dinner. I was running out the door. I live right by the train station and the dinner was downtown, and I was like, perfect. I'm gonna take the train downtown and then I'll take an Uber back, no problem. So I run out the door, run to the train, make it, go to the dinner. As I'm on the train, I realize, uh-oh, I don't have a way to call an Uber because there's not an Uber or Lyft app anymore on the watch. I think there used to be, or you used to be able to call like an Uber with Siri, and now you can't. So I came to terms with the fact that I had 30% battery on my watch and I was most likely going to have to walk home, which is possible from where I was. I mean, and I ended up walking home. 2 things I learned from that experience. 1, you can't pay for any bike or scooter or anything like that without an app. So like, even though there's plenty of bikes in Austin and there's plenty of modes of transportation, you have to have an app, or you have to have the ability to scan a QR code. And if I've learned anything from this experience, even when I went to the service center yesterday, to check in, I needed to fill out a form that was on a QR code. So I told them I left my phone at home, I had to get an iPad. They gave it to me, did the whole thing. So when I couldn't use any of like the modes of transportation yesterday, it worked fine for me because I just ended up literally walking home for an hour, and it ended up being nice, and you know, I found the silver lining in it. But I definitely realized the limitation of if you rely on any services or any other modes of transportation, it gets really difficult. I also learned while I was at the dinner for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, my watch was at 30%, and obviously it was using cellular and I was in a building. And so by the time I was done with that dinner, it was at 13%. And I think if you're really trying to like max the battery life and you know when you need cellular and you know when you don't, I should have turned off cellular during that dinner so I could have saved it as much as I could. Because on my walk home, I brought my headphones with me. So I listened to music for like about half of the walk, and that was about the last 10% of my battery, and then the watch finally died. So walking in silence was not awful, but I wish I'd planned a little bit better because then I might have had access to like maps or music or phone or text or an emergency service if I needed it. But, you know, I mean, it's fine. I was fine. So yeah, definitely a very interesting day 4. I had to shower before dinner and then had to walk home and then shower after dinner. So definitely learned that lesson, but we'll see how day 5 goes. Okay, now we're here to update on day 5. It is currently day 6. It's going well. Day 5 actually went really well. I had a bunch of errands to run and things to do, and I used my watch the entire time. I've actually, a couple of times when I've wanted to listen to a podcast, I've actually put my AirPods in on transparency mode so I can hear everything. And I've actually connected my watch to my headphones and just listen to that like when I'm in a store or when I'm like driving somewhere because I can't connect it to my car. That's actually worked really well because I haven't downloaded like the podcast beforehand. So media streaming works perfectly well. I ended up going to happy hour with friends and didn't bring my phone. And the happy hour that we were going to go to, we couldn't. It was too busy. So I was going to use my watch to like find different things around, but then we ended up just going right down the street. So it was one of those moments where I was like, oh, this might not be ideal, but it also wasn't a deal breaker. And I ended up not needing to use it because instead of immediately reaching for my phone and just like Googling something, I was like, you know what? I have my watch, I can use that, but let me just like think about what's around me or like, let's walk around for a second, which I think was a good moment. Like it was a good example of the mindset shift when you just don't have access to a phone. You just like, think a little differently, think a little creatively. I did have to text friends to coordinate meeting up, and I've actually noticed that with the watch, it is shockingly good at having a cellular service, at least with AT&T and at least in Austin. I pretty much have service anywhere that I would have service with my phone. Unless I'm in like a really dense building, the service might cut out a little bit, but my phone would struggle in that situation. So I'm honestly not surprised that like a tiny watch is not able to do the same exact thing. So that's been totally good. And I don't know if I mentioned this in my last check-in, but I actually wanted to update you guys. I usually charge my watch in the middle of the day or in the evening because I will wear it overnight when I track my sleep. So overnight, every single time that I track my sleep, I'm losing about 15% of my battery, which is totally manageable. And yesterday I woke up with about maybe 70%, did my entire day, and then only put my watch on my charger before the happy hour when I was getting ready. So it was just a moment where I knew I could charge. I wasn't sure how long I would be out, but my watch so far has never died on me except for the one moment the other day that I was walking home for an hour. So that's not exactly normal. But that is day 5, and I will update you guys on day 6. I am traveling for work actually, but I wanted to update you guys because I finished the watch challenge. I did day 6 and 7, Saturday and Sunday. And it was actually very interesting because on the weekend, my schedule is completely different and I'm usually a lot more like out and about. And that was very true this past weekend. I actually used the watch all day Saturday, worked out, ran errands, and it was all great, except for once again, I needed to show a QR code to check in for a service appointment. And of course, I can only do that on my phone. That is the one area where I just keep hitting roadblocks is whenever you need a QR code. So for that trip, I actually did take my phone and I just didn't use it for anything else besides that QR code. But then later in the day, my partner and I actually decided to have friends over and then we went out and we went to a couple of bars and I kind of bravely did not bring my phone. Of course, when you need a car, of course, when you're gonna be out and about with friends, I really think that I would need a phone, but since I was with people and since I was with my partner, I wasn't too worried about it. And it actually ended up working out great. I really never needed to get in touch with anybody that night, and for anybody else that was with us, there was always somebody that had a phone that could like call an Uber, which of course is kind of one of the ways that I learned this is really difficult because you will get stranded if you don't have a way to call a ride. The only downside of that experience was not having a camera because there was a few moments I feel like I would have taken a photo or a video, but to be honest, it was really nice to not have to think about having another thing on my person and just stay in the present moment. Like there was no reason for me to get on my phone. There was no reason for me to check something because I was just like doing things with fun people and I was just in the moment. Groundbreaking, I know. So then we get to Sunday because I actually charged my watch on Saturday before I went out and then I wore it all night and then I went to sleep in it and then I woke up and then we ended up going to a movie in the early afternoon and my watch when I woke up probably had like 50%, which I was actually really surprised by because I only charged it to like 85% the night before. So when I went to the movie, I was smart this time and I turned off cellular because I was in a movie for like 2.5 hours. Then of course I did not remember to turn cellular back on for like an hour, but thankfully thankfully I didn't really have any messages that I missed. And then I ran a couple of errands and went about my day. Every single time I've needed my phone this week, it's always been because there's like a utility. It's never been because I'm like particularly bored or in danger or need it for work. Which honestly I think was the most interesting part of this entire experience. Phones are absolutely tools, and the world that we live in is completely built around having a phone. There was many moments that I was like, oh, if I did not have like a personal cell phone, I wouldn't be able to do X thing. And that's still true. What I learned with the watch is that as long as there's like an app or a way to do something you want to do on a watch, it is a completely reliable way to like go about the world and do the things that you do every day. I never really had issues with battery or cell service unless I was in a position that my phone even wouldn't do well in, or I wouldn't have charged my phone. So that was actually really nice to see. And any moment that I did need to use cell service on my watch, it worked for me. So that was really nice that it's as reliable for most things as your phone is, especially because on like such a tiny screen, you're not going to be watching a ton of videos. You're not going to be going through a bunch of emails. You're not going to be texting 1,000 people. It really is for in the moment needs and communication, which is kind of the perfect minimal phone when you think about it. I think that's where I've landed with this whole experience, is that if you've ever been interested in a minimal phone, look for other ways to achieve that goal before you go to a new device. So obviously, if you have a smartwatch, that is a great place to start. But even if you don't, you could just turn off or delete the apps on your phone that you feel like you need to get away from. Multiple moments during this week, I would find myself being like, oh, I need to get on Twitter, or oh, I need to look at the news. And it was usually just to kill time so I wouldn't be bored. And this week forced me to be bored many times. And to be honest, it was uncomfortable for like the first second that I felt like I needed to do something, and then I would just sit in it and it was fine. Which I'm sure sounds so pathetic to a certain degree, that it's like, you can be bored, you don't need your phone, but it's true. I mean, everybody's addicted. The devices and the apps are designed to be addicting. If you've learned anything from this video, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have any questions about how I did this, or different things that I used, or if you can do something on a watch that you're wondering if you can do, please let me know. Of course, if you got to this point of the video, go ahead and subscribe. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.